1932, protecting the future of working families, Teamsters, 1932.org.
KCAA.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and mbrradio.us. We got to bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind. We are live tonight in studio. So if you are driving in your car and you got to get out, grab your device, type in kcaaradio.com, or grab the app. That's right, we do have an app here, so whatever you are on your device with iOS or Android, get the app and you can catch us anywhere at any time, right? All right, so tonight, just want to have a quick conversation with you. We're going to have about a 55-minute of music and talk of just some things I've been looking at for myself in this journey of my ideology and philosophy and theology that I've had to pretty much just create all new, like find a new ideology, a new philosophy, a new theology, because what I discovered at 40 years old, that those things that I was being used by were some corrupted misinformation, some bad information, some cliches that I got from my dad. Just a lot of conversations that, as the mind of a child, you listen and you absorb, but some of those things left out some important details, or maybe the way that my brain functioned as a child. Like most of us, we don't know what it is to be an adult. And so we go through life giving meaning to life and making up stuff and trying to survive those moments where we feel embarrassed, those moments we feel ashamed, those moments we feel disappointed, and we don't know what to do with that. But guess what? Your mind does, because it's designed to survive those kind of moments of when you feel like you are alone, or there's something wrong with you, or that you don't belong. Yeah, those are the things we're going to talk about tonight. I know I'm not the only one, but I can tell you that I have had to go back and just kind of challenge my subconscious mind, my perception, my action patterns, my memory patterns, which are all connected to who? This person that I've said that I am, or say that I am, or said that I was, that today doesn't fit who I want to be today. And so we're going to have a conversation about that. So I got some songs I'm going to play in between. I'm going to drop some framework for you. And then we're just going to have a conversation. And then if you have any kind of input, you got some questions, you want to be a guest, hit me up at Farron Dozier on all your social media platforms. And I'll invite you. Be on the air. You can call in on the phone line. You can stream in if you like, or you can actually come and sit next to me in person. You have the choice, depending on where you're located at. But I'm always open to have guests. This is not just a one-way conversation, and so I'm not just going to be a talking head and just talking from my opinions. That's part of the restoration of who Farron is. That Farron is giving up his opinions about himself first, which then allows me to listen to other people, right? Because I believe that is something that is a missing conversation in the world that we live in today. We say that we are good listeners, but are you listening to react, to respond? What is that? I've learned through some education that communication is harmonious. Thanks to goaltenders in the LBI Solutions that I'm a trainer in with Caldwell Williams programs. Yeah, so if communication is harmonious, at what point do we lose this harmonious part of communicating? Again, I believe it goes back to some core experiences that maybe we didn't know how to manage when we were young at heart. So I'm going to play a track, and then we'll come back. Actually, I'm going to play this PS. Do the PSA first. This show is brought to you by WDC on SCT.org. That's right, WDCONSCT.org, my Sickle Cell Trait Foundation. That is my purpose in life. I have the sickle cell trait. As many of you may have known, or you're a new listener, I collapsed in the military from sickle cell trait exertion and rhabdomyolysis, which pretty much started this journey I'm on today. Like that seed, that gene, mutated as if it was a seed in the ground growing, ready to grow, ready to sprout those roots. And I collapsed, was dying on the inside. My creatinine kinase level was 12,000. At my age at that time, it was supposed to be 150. And so they diagnosed me with a condition called rhabdomyolysis. You can visit www.rhabdo.info for my information about the rhabdo piece. And that pretty much was the diagnosis until 5 years afterwards. And then my friend, fellow officer friend, military buddy, Joseph Adams, passed me on the base and was like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "You don't want to know." He's like, "Tell me what's happening." And I told him what was going on. And he was like, "Oh, that sounds like I got the sickle cell trait. My body locked up on me one time." And there was the conversation. That's why I know the power of conversation, the power of communication, the power of sharing our stories with each other. You may help someone that's in the dark just by sharing, just by being open to share where you are, what you're dealing with, what happened to you, what your experiences are. Not to like look good, but to like, hey, you know what? That sounds familiar, or this is what happened to me. Right? There's a way that we can share our conversations that can be effective. Now, yes, some people share their stories and they want to look good and not look bad and whatever that is for them. However, it doesn't have to be that way. So we're going to play the PSA for our organization. Wow, I've been at this for 15 years and just looking at what's next. I feel at 55, I'm turning 56 coming up next year, and I just feel like there's another shift. I can tell you that since I've been on this journey at 40, I'm not the same person. The old Farron is still in there, still swimming around in there. Like those thoughts are there, but some of those thoughts have been transformed. A lot of those thoughts have been transformed. A lot of those thoughts I have a better understanding. A lot of those thoughts I have comprehension around them. A lot of those thoughts I have revelation, so I know how to manage them. And some of those thoughts have been free and delivered that they don't even bother me anymore. And they've just become a story or a testimony when given the opportunity to help someone who might be in that space, as an example, right? I've learned in these last 15 years that sometimes you have to ask permission to speak in someone's life. Like, because we love each other, we care, right? And sometimes you just want to just go inside and just fix the person but maybe that's, as my mom said, maybe that's not your assignment. Some plant seeds, some water, and God takes care of the rest. But what role are you playing? Are you planting seeds, or you may water a seed? And sometimes our stories, our testimonies might help water someone's seed that might be willing to look and see what's going on inside their life. And that's it. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's not about none of that. It's about how to share effectively without trying to fix somebody, because I know we want to fix people. It's natural. We care. No one wants to see you suffering. No one wants to see you managing or being depressed or listening to the words that come out of your mouth that may be disempowering when we might see the answer, but it's not for me to give you the answer. See, sometimes we hear people talk and then we know what's going on with them, and so we just give them our diagnosis, or we tell them what they should go and do, but we don't tell or talk about how we made it through that same kind of situation. And maybe by you sharing how you made it through, they could take that information, apply that principle to their own life, and then maybe that might be enough to get them on track if they're willing. Right? So again, we're going to have some conversations like that tonight. This is the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. We're going to prepare for the PSA. If you want more information about Sickle Cell Trade Awareness, WDCONSCT.org. That's WDCONSCT.org. And you can get information there. You can follow me at WDC on Instagram as well. So shout us out. What's the count? The Farron Dozier Show. Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Farron Dozier. I'm here at the military base, and I have the sickle cell trait. Now, why I got involved is I experienced what they call sickle cell trait exertion. And I was doing the Army physical fitness test, the 2-mile run, and when I got done, I collapsed. A lot of soldiers and athletes have been dying on football fields and running track, and the family members have no idea that they have the sickle cell trait gene or that it's a trigger. So my purpose is to mobilize the community so we can find out what's in your genes. How will life be if we could prevent another child from being born with sickle cell trait or disease? And if a child was born with the trait or disease, that the family members would have the education, awareness, and resources in every city that they lived in. So tune into our webinar series and find out what's the count.
What's the count? What's the count? What's the count? Wake up, lay feet to the pavement, running at 100, ain't read, no praying. Needs of my seed got me so anxious. Peeps telling me how I need more patience, and I know it. Lord, I don't wanna go it on my own. Now I know how close the end zone is. Knowing I can flow it got me feeling more heroic. Now he telling me to run it, but I sure wanna throw it. Knowing that it's your play calling, they got me in a position to take all this. How dare I break off and stray? Long as I've been training for this game, I wish I would throw the ball away. I'm trying to be a better follower, cause true faith don't keep calling audible. And plus I tried on my own, and that's what had me crying at his throne in the first place.
2 steps forward, 2 steps back, it's like I'm running in place. Staying where I'm at, it's the same old path, trying to hold me back. Lord, I need you to, why don't you just lead me? Lord, I need you to lead me. I need you.
Now I'm up in this predicament due to a whole lot of not listening. Trying to get it in before I got it right. Like I'ma holler at your father, but it's not tonight. Trying to add them in the plans I already made, instead of asking for the plans that heaven laid. But this a game I already played. If I seek him first, I can never be led astray. Alright. New day, do pray before I put the brush to the toothpaste, touche. Faith fresh like a new fade. Get up in the word, then grind is my new thing. Put him back in the top spot. Everything falling into place now. Put my feet to the streets like hopscotch. So seasoned, just wait till it rains down.
2 steps forward, 2 steps back, it's like I'm running in place. Staying where I'm at, it's the same old path, trying to hold me back. Lord, I need you to, why don't you just lead me? Lord, I need you to lead me. I need my next breath depends on you. My next heartbeat depends on you. Less of me and more of you. Lord, please lead me in all I do. All I do. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's like I'm running in place. Staying where I'm at, it's the same old path, trying to hold me back.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Again, streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind. That was Bill, right? So, the good fight. I miss my Christian hip hop talk show, and so I listen to a lot of different genres. A lot of the music now because I've sanctified it and I follow it up with scripture, and I've asked God to I really prayed for God to take that rap music away from me, or at least figure out how to lessen it. And guess what He did? He actually showed me, gave me some more music that's more edifying, more feeding my spirit, and so now it's balanced out, and the other music, because I've healed from all the situations around those songs. They're soundtracks, right? And that music could be a way that you can relate and connect to people. So for some of us, you have to cut that music off, but I do understand why, because if you're trapped in that music and your heart is still tugging and susceptible to go back to that direction of where that music takes you in those places in time, some people have to cut it off and have to be able to get rid of it, until they do the work around that area. Because you can't avoid the music. If you're going in a grocery store or you're in somebody else's car and they're playing music, like, what do you do? Yeah, I can control it in my own vehicle, of course. But what do you do when you're out there? What do you do when your children, you want your children to listen to that music, but they go in their environments and children are playing those songs? What do you have? What have you fed that child so that when they hear that music, they know, oh yeah, that's the stuff that my mom told me about. So they don't let it get downloaded in their heart. Right? Your conscious mind is aware of it, so it doesn't allow it get into your heart, because that's how stuff gets past your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, because you keep hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. Then it gets in your heart, and then it becomes a part of that moment in time, that perception or that memory or that action pattern or body sensation, right? So tonight, this has been something that I've only shared with just a few people, but I'm gonna give it to you this way. I've heard people say, when they talk about the mind, the body, and the soul, like there's this whole, we all describe it in our own fashion. Mind, body, soul. Soul, body, mind, whatever order you put that in, tonight I'm asking you to take a look at the order that you have it in for yourself. I'm not asking you to change the order. I'm just asking you to look at how you language the order of when you say mind, body, and spirit, right? Because how you say it or how I say it, it puts it in an order for me of how I live, how I think about life. I think about life as my mind, body, and soul, or my mind, body, and spirit. Is my mind first, my body, and then my spirit is last, right? So sometimes how we talk could be our biggest trap. The words that we choose, the words that we use to describe life versus saying what it is, can be sometimes what keeps you stuck. I know for me it was. I had to alter how I talk just so that I could be free from how I think and how these experiences come out of my mouth, because I'm saying them out loud to myself. So this first part of this conversation, I just want to give it to you this way. I was looking at, I'm delivering a message this coming Sunday for the New Earth Christian Church, Youth Sunday. And usually 2 weeks out, I'm already talking to the Holy Spirit, like, okay, so where do you want me to go? I've been through a lot of things this past few months, this past month or past week. How does this align with the messages that you want me to deliver to these children and their parents? And so there's some conversations that I've listened to and read about, and I'm like, oh, I never looked at it as such. But if you look at social media, a lot of us, are on social media. The whole world's not on social media, just so you know that. Everybody doesn't listen to internet radio. Terrestrial radio still reigns number one. But for those of us who are on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and because maybe your job or your career, whatever you up to, causes you to be on those platforms. Like my radio show, I advertise my show on social media. So we see stuff and we see things, and your feed comes up. But anyway, today we're talking about decisiveness, and there's a division in the world. There is a division in the world, and there's a division between our family members. There's divisions in our homes, our friendships, our churches. But there's also division in our own hearts. There's political divisions. There's cultural divisions. But what is going on with you as a person? What's going on with Farron as I look at my interpersonal relationship? Not interpersonal, with other people. I have to first look at Farron first. So what's going on in Farron's life? And so a lot of times we think that the divisions are outside of us, but they really start inside. And so when I ask you about the spirit, body, mind, soul, how do you language that? Well, I took a look at that for myself, because I looked at, at the Word of God, and I'm learning that there are things that are in order. Like there's things that you gotta put your life in a particular order. And so because I follow the Word, those principles, there's actually an order of those principles. And so as I'm looking at it and applying it to my life and getting comprehension, and I'm getting revelation, and I'm getting, I'm applying it to my life, I noticed that I want to say it from this factor, this fashion: spirit, soul, and body, right? Because I'm a spirit, I possess a soul, and I have this body that allows me to talk to you and sense everything, and smells, and all the senses that we have, right? And so I was looking at that like, okay, I get that. That makes sense. Okay, the spirit. So I'm using the biblical. My theology has been transformed to the biblical principles. I follow those. My mind, or my soul, that has my mind, will, and emotions. So I got some new programs for that. I got the landmark education for that. I got some grief classes. I got Caldwell's Gold Tenders and the LBI solutions. I got, what else did I use? Cognitive behavior. I said the grief counseling. So I got some things that I added to my soul, just to get a better understanding of who Farron is and was, and where all that stuff came from. And so then you got the body, right? And yeah. My body is I'm in pain. I live in pain 7. I live in a 7 pain every day, and that's from my exertional cycling with the rhabdo. So, I don't complain. My military mind doesn't allow me to complain unless it's beyond level 7. If it's like a 9 or a 10, then you might hear me moan or groan or say something. But for the most part, I don't really complain about my pain. I've been living with this pain since 2006. But even with the Word, I've learned that, no one escapes those. No one escapes health complications. We all have a thorn. We all have an affliction that may show up later in life, or we might be born with it. My affliction, I was born with sickle cell trait. I was inherited. I did have pains and complications as a child. Didn't know what it was. Thought it was growing pains. And then at 36, I collapsed. So those afflictions, I understand, though. I got a better understanding what the Word has to say about my health. The world has a lot of opinions about health. None of it's right or wrong, good or bad. I'm just saying, for me, I had to figure out, what am I going to be leading my life with? So I chose to put my order out of soul, body, and spirit, or however, to spirit. I'm a spirit. I believe I'm a spirit. I know I'm a spirit. And I possess a soul, and I have this body. So if I'm going to be a spirit first, then I got to go get the information and the knowledge of what am I going to feed my spirit. And I follow the God of my family, which is Christ. And so I've been looking at that for myself, and I've got some peace in that. I get it. I get why my family followed Christ. I get it. I get it for myself. So I'm feeding my spirit with that. And you look at the mind or the spirit or the soul, whichever one you say. I say spirit and soul because the mind, will, emotions are inside of there. But you got to manage all three of those, right? And then I look at the body. So then for the soul and the body, I looked at, well, there's what's going on with the spirit, the soul, and the body? What's going on with that? And as I studied, the fall of Adam and Eve and the fruit and the tree of knowledge, and like I was just like, you know what? Something happened. If I'm made in God's image, which is the Trinity, which is 3 in 1, and we're 3 in 1 as well, right? Because we have a spirit, a soul, and a body. But I looked at the fall like, well, what happened? Did something happen to the mind, the soul? And that's where I saw, well, inside of the soul that we possess is a mind. And maybe the mind got split. And so it becomes the spirit, the soul, the mind, and the body. So for me, it's not just 3 pieces anymore. It's actually 4 pieces. It's the spirit, the soul, the mind, and the body. Because in the mind, we have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. So that made me look at that from another perspective. And so when I talking about this divisiveness of what it looks like to have this inner war with ourselves, it starts with us. It starts with me. My spirit, my soul, my mind, and my body. And some of those, sometimes they don't agree with each other. Sometimes they want to do their own thing. Sometimes I get a body sensation first. Sometimes my mind tells me I better not do that. Sometimes my soul gives me these thoughts. And sometimes my spirit is like, what are you doing, man? You know you shouldn't be doing that. Right? Am I the only one? No, I'm not the only one. And because that's me, it divides my home. It divides myself in the community. And the scripture for that is Mark 3:25, and it talks about a house divided against itself cannot stand. And talk about the Bible. I'm God's temple, right? I'm the church. I'm the temple. So then I'm divided already. I'm dealing with my own mental divisions or whatever you want to articulate it for yourself. But there's a battle that I was born into. I didn't create this. I was born into this world. And now I got to figure it out. Sometimes your family didn't have it figured out for themselves either. Sometimes they just did the best they could with what they had and what they knew. But now it's our turn. Now it's my turn. It's up to me to figure out what's going on with Farron. Right? And so when I look at that for myself, the divisiveness, and it's just like, man, I see it in social media. I see it in family. I see it in friends. I see it in just in the world. When you're aware of yourself, you can see yourself in other people. It's like, wow, this is really hurting us. We can't even have a conversation about different topics because it divides us because you don't agree with what I have to say. Or you should agree with me, or you want me to agree with you, and I don't really have to. So what's in the way of that? So the key points, it's like unresolved pain. I'm still unraveling a lot of unresolved pain. Unhealed shame. I could think about a lot of things that I was ashamed of, even as a child, of behavior, of things that I did or said. And mainly the unrenewed thinking, like I've had to challenge my thoughts. That's cognitive behavior. That's the education, personal development. I had to go back and challenge those thoughts that I've had. They were so exaggerated, habitual, like how I talk, all or none. Like I had to go back and sit with those and really figure out, where did those come from, or why do I say it like that, or why do I talk like that, or where's that thought? Like you, if you're willing to do the work, you can really figure it out for yourself. And because the brain is filled with years of perception patterns and memory patterns and action patterns, so sometimes we have uncontrolled reactions in life, right? Sometimes somebody can say something to me and I make a face, or I feel some type of way, or they use a word that I'm unsettled with, and I react to that word. Just a word. But it's a word that I made something mean about Farron, who Farron had to be to survive one of those moments in time. Then I'm living from those reactions. And like an app on your phone, just press it and it's already running. Those uncontrolled reactions are already running, waiting for you to push that button. You heard people say, pushing my buttons? That's right there. It's already there, running in the background in your subconscious mind, waiting to be triggered. Okay, I'm just I wish you would say something. I wish you would. That's how we act, subconsciously or consciously. And so that's to me divides us in ourselves, the interpersonal relationship. When my inside is divided, of course my relationships are going to be divided. There's no way that it's not, because I'm the common denominator in all of my relationships. So when you understand that you're the common denominator in all your relationships in life, guess what you see? You see yourself show up in different people. Because maybe that person represents somebody from your past. I had some of that too. So what I chose to do is to have my spirit lead my life. Not, the Bible calls it, your flesh. I also was looking at, where I first started was the wounds in my soul. That's where I started at. And my emotional reactions. And I also started with that education around my perception. So I had to renew my mind. I had to challenge those thoughts. I had to challenge those philosophies and ideologies of what I was being used by that was actually not serving me anymore as a person. I want to be patient today. I want to be used by patience. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to have experience anxiety. I want to experience patience and calmness and joy. But my old perceptions didn't allow me to have that because they were connected to some episode of another perception pattern. And mainly for me, when I experience transformation, for me, I have to go through the body sensations. So sometimes, again, it may not be a thought. It may be a body reaction first that then triggers the thought, that then brings up the story. Or the story comes in your mind, and then the thought about that story comes in. Or then your thought about that story, and then there's a body sensation triggered from the story that triggers the thought of why that. And so these are all just neurons in your brain firing. You can't even control them. Or can you? You gotta look up the definition of control for yourself and see what that means. So when I look at that for myself, it's like, man, I'm a spirit, so I gotta feed my spirit. I gotta feed it. I gotta feed it something that's gonna give me strength and power and patience and confidence and love, like affinity love. Like those are the things I'm looking at right now. So I'm just asking you, if you're willing to look, you can, have this conversation with yourself. Or what are your beliefs? What are you using? What are you used by? Are you used by frustration and upset? Naturally. But I'm sure there's a way of being that you would like to be that doesn't have to be live from a frustrating perception. That's all. This is the Farron Dozier Show, KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 10:50 AM. I got another song for you. This is Bizzle. I'm highlighting Bizzle. Bizzle, right now, man, I appreciate you, bro. Like, your music has really got into my heart. And your music is something that I'm highlighting on my show here at KCA Radio. So I appreciate you, man, for all of your work, for your stand for people, and being used by God to deliver your messages through song. Not all of us could do rap or be a rapper and do what rappers do and produce the results that rappers produce. I have mine in a different context. All right, so this is Bizzle. This is Way Up. All right, we're going to play some of this, and then we'll come back, and I got a little bit more key points I want to drop on you, and then we'll play another PSA about sickle cell trait. How's that? The Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio.
We take it way up, higher than Nassau on a launch and lift off into the dark abyss past the stars where the Martians live. Never will these archers miss their mark. You see the darts we spit have sharpened tips. We aim for the heart and hit what our target is. Like an arsonist lighting a match up and then tossing it onto gasoline. We're torching this, homie, of course it's lit. Like Rick James on Eddie Murphy's couch screaming out darknesses with no remorse. We kick that grime in this pond. We are sharks to fish.
This is a remix. Get a beat, flip, rip it to pieces. Get a seat. We up in the winter sweep in the eat. We sitting with Jesus, dropping it for the God risen. He alive, living in the midst of the people. Try me, and if you're not feeling it, then bye. Really, I ain't feeling you either. Whether or not you feel it, I'm not forgetting what God has given to me. I could be locked up and up inside the prison and not to visit or preach. God willing, I'ma give him the gospel till I'm not in position to speak. You can knock it, but I'ma rock with the rock, and I'm not missing a beat. Listen to me, dog. I was up in Walmart with a scan gun for the canned goods. I could rap good, but I did what I could for the fam. That's manhood. Quit looking for the quick lick. Told God if you're not with it, I quit this. That's when he told me, no, you just go and be lit. I've been on the road doing shows ever since then. Tell them what I know, pray their souls they get lifted. Bless them with the flow, but the goal is repentance. Never get it twisted. Yeah, daddy let me loose. They gotta move. Bishop with the burner, baby. I got the juice. They hating on my team, cause we the truth. Won't he do it? And we the proof. We gon' take them way, 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 we gon' take them way, 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 way,
I ain't really with the back talk, homie, but you know that I'ma talk back. You ain't pitching, you can buck back. You ain't gotta ride, you can walk back. Hey, we need to get the salt back. Dark rap, make the blackboard. And if you ain't teaching from the most high, little homie, you could get a chalk back. Homie, I can never go back. I was down in the gutter, man. Low in a dark place. Oh, thank God, he the Prozac. Everybody gotta raise up. Knees down and the praise up. Lock down, homie, stay up. Tell them all that there's a way up.
The blood, we covered by it. Speaking up when everyone is silent. Think we don't, man, y'all confused. We be dropping jewels like a drunken pirate. Showing up the parties uninvited with the Sunday fire. I be praising God with. Probably leaving everyone inspired. If they spirits any higher, they would mosh pit. We don't really want that, do we? Nah. Man, I never care what I haters say. Y'all tripping. My sauce dripping like a winter coach bathed in a Gatorade. Ooh, flaming the 808. Straight propane, let me demonstrate. Put fire to the beat and do the same thing Eminem and Jay did a renegade.
Look up, man, look at what I got cooked up. Could've took us with a beam in the touch, but no, good God, that's mean in the clutch. Teaming it up with a rough bunch, and I don't play game like putt-putt. Gotta let God be the gut punch. He's running the play like hunt. If you really trying to have a dust-up, tuck your pride and recognize what just us. Plus the mighty hand of God to ruck us. Swinging with your might will get you bust up. Trying to hurt the kid to get you roughed up. Like Paul and Silas, till I'm in a coffin virus. Benefit righteous, feeling it, living it, pious, bias.
Daddy, let me loose. They gotta move. Bishop with the burner, baby. I got the juice. They hating on my team, cause we the truth. Won't he do it? And we the proof. We gon' take them way, 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 way. We gon' take them way, 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 way,
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 10:50 AM. Again, streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind. All right, so we're talking about decisiveness and the division that we see. I mean, I'm sure you see it for yourself. A lot of times we recognize it outside of us, but I'm asking for you to look at the division between you and yourself. The song that says me, myself, and I. It has 3 pieces: me, myself, and I, right? So as we're talking about this, as I'm breaking this down for myself, I'm looking at, okay, so spirit, soul, and body, but I'm looking at the mind because we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind, right? That's psychology. There's a conscious mind and there's a subconscious mind. Sometimes that subconscious mind is not sometimes, but it is designed to keep us safe, to survive life. Don't touch the hot stove. Don't put your foot on the brake when you see brake lights. Like a lot of that stuff we have been trained to survive, so it becomes automatic. Look both ways before you cross the street. Like you don't think about that anymore. It's a part of who you are. But guess what? What if the frustration and the upset and disappointment and the embarrassment and the shame and the blah blah is also wrapped as a part of who you are as well? So yes, I mean you've experienced being patient, but it's like a miracle when it happens, right? It's like, oh, wow, I was actually kind today. That's not my normal. Well, what's your normal? You on 10 all the time? Or as I articulated, sometimes we don't know who we are without a little bit of chaos. Like if everything's nice and calm and peace and quiet, it's like, oh no, this doesn't feel right. I gotta cause some havoc. And then you cause problems just to feel alive. But that's not wrong. This is not a right or wrong, good or bad conversation. I'm just asking you to recognize where it might be coming from. So when we talk about the spirit, I got a couple of scriptures for you so you could do your own research. But this is where I'm looking at because I got some more research to do for myself. But when we talk about the spirit, these are the 4 layers that I'm looking at right now that I'm studying. The spirit. The spirit is, what is my spirit led by? If it's not led by God, then it's led by fear, pride, and insecurities. And that's Galatians 5:16, which I heard my mom tell me this a lot of times in life. Walk by the Spirit. Don't let your flesh lead your life. Don't walk in the flesh. So check out Galatians 5:16, where it talks about walking by the Spirit. The soul. The soul is your mind, will, and emotions. You possess it. You're not your soul, but you possess the soul that has these other factors. If you watch Inside Out, I recommend Inside Out, both part 1 and 2. If you can get past the cartoon, but listen to the story and watch and examine your life with that little cartoon, this will make a lot more sense at that level. But your soul, sometimes we say that the soul is wounded, but it's reactive. And sometimes it's reactive out of your mouth, right? And even when I talking about the mouth and the soul, that's why it's called soul food. There's really nothing really good is in the soul. That's really not anything good. Nor is soul food. So no wonder they say, oh, it's food for the soul, because again, a lot of the soul foods are not healthy, right? So is there anything healthy in the soul? I don't know. You gotta examine your own soul. My soul was corrupted. It wasn't always clean. My soul's corrupted. I got some wounds. The heart. We'll get to that part. But Psalms 147:3, it says that he heals the brokenhearted. And I'm proof that God, that Christ, that the Holy Spirit can guide you to heal your broken heart. I got a few stories to tell you. I'm proof. But that's because I applied the word to my spirit so that I could get the understanding and the revelation and the knowledge and the application to apply that wisdom. And guess what? It works. Right? But this is the part that I'm looking at now as I deal with my own emotional issues, emotional trauma, my perception and my action patterns and memory patterns, which is in the mind. So we've got the spirit, the soul, and the mind. And the Bible has a conversation about the mind, just like it does about the soul, which is Romans 12:2. Renew the mind. Read Romans 12:2. It talks about renewing our mind. That's actually the work. That's actually where the work is at, which is why when I looked at the spirit, soul, and body, there was a piece missing in conversation for me, which is the mind. And those traumas, they shaped my perception, and it created more assumptions, because now I'm living from that corrupted perception. So I'm guarded in my mind, in my subconscious mind, to make sure that I never feel those pains again. That I never feel that pain again in my life. I don't want to feel that pain. But you can't. Because now that the pain is there, your mind is always looking for the pain to happen again. So it knows what to keep you to be safe. Do you understand that? Your subconscious mind stores it in your mind so that if it ever happens again, or if it looks like it's about to happen again, you know what to do. You're going to do what you did when you was 2. You're going to do what you did when you was 5. You're going to do what you did when you was 8. You're going to do what you did when you was 6. So it's already there, ready to protect you if it even looks like it's about to happen. And then when it happens, it may not even be the same thing that's going to happen again when you was 5. But because it looks like it, you react to it the way, and then you wonder why does it always keep looking like that? This keeps happening to me. No, it's because you keep reacting to it the same way. And it may not have been that this time. I got stories for that one too. So again, I'm the common denominator in my relationships. But so my interpersonal relationship is most important for me. And it has been the last 15 years. That's what I've been working on. Looking at my mind, my spirit, my soul, and of course my body, because of this sickle cell trait and this rhabdo. So the next part of that fourth layer is the body. And your body is your words, your tone. You know what? I dominate and control in silence. I can control and dominate relationships in silence, by my silence. Because now the person don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what is he thinking. Because I'm silent. Silent but deadly. You know the phrases. So sometimes your body, your words, your tone, your silence, your anger, it all shows up in your inner self. In your interpersonal relationship, all that can show up inside of there. And that's James 3. Read James chapter 3. It talks about the tongue, and the tongue, how it sets things on fire. The tongue is like dynamite. You can say something that blow up the whole shop. You can say something that just destroys people around you by your words, but also by your tone. And this is something that I discovered just most recently, that I had to pay attention to my character, my behavior, my personality, and my body language. All 4 of those. Because guess what? Somebody could love you. They could love you for your character. They could love you for your personality. They could love you for your behavior, but not like you for your body language. Or they might not like you for your character, but they love everything else about you. Or they might not like your behavior, but they love everything else about you. Or they might not like your personality, but they love everything else about you. And that could be enough to not have that person communicate with you because they don't like your behavior or your personality or your character or your body language. We see that in sports. They talk about that in sports on these basketball teams. Your body language. Coaches don't want to deal with body language. So imagine in your mind, will, and emotions, you're dealing with all that stuff. Your spirit is fractured. And your body is giving off all these different behaviors of your internal dialogue that's coming out of and then I have to come out of your mouth. So read James chapter 3. It talks about the tongue. The tongue is like dynamite. It will blow up a spot. You know it because you said some stuff on purpose just to make somebody mad on purpose. I've done it. I know I shouldn't say it that way, but I say it that way because I need to get my point across. Because I'm defending my intentions, but I'm not responsible for how my personality lands on that person. I'm not taking responsibility for how my body language lands for that person or my character or my behavior. And that's how I got free from this conversation, because I looked at me defending my intentions versus how I landed for people, how I occurred for people. Now, when you get how you can occur for people and you see how your attitude lands on folks, because that's how you look at other people, how they land on you, and now you disrespecting me, well, guess what? You might be saying something that's disrespectful to that person. It may not be disrespectful to me, but it could be to that person. So then I have to find out, why is that disrespectful for you? But I have to be aware that, hey, I'm not perfect, and everybody ain't gonna like Farron or love Farron or want to hang out with Farron or be my friend, marry me. Like I get that today, but as a young person, you're told to like people and be friends with people. But there's a truth to that everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody's not going to be your friend. Everybody's not going to want to talk to you. So what do we do with that? You got to feed your spirit. You have to understand how your soul operates because you possess it. You got to understand how your mind works because you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. That's where that subconscious mind is where we have our deep, 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 deep thoughts about life. And about life. Again, about life, about surviving life. And if I don't feel like I could survive life anymore in my subconscious mind, that turns to hopelessness, despair, disappointment, self-loathing, and then we have conversations like, why bother? And we deal with this, a lot of us do. We just don't talk about it out loud. But you can, if you're willing. But you gotta find somebody that you have confidence in. You have to find a conversation, some education that you have confidence in, that you trust, whatever that is. You gotta find that for yourself. All right, I'm gonna play one more track and then I'm gonna get out of here. This is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 10:50 AM. Again, streaming from the KCAA Redcom website. This is Bizzle. You ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got over money, yeah, 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 yeah.
Got over money, come and roll with the pack. Rep for the king all over the map. Stepping away, get blessed, or you get left in the way just too close to the tracks. I'm no star, I post in the back. Be the co-star, better open the act. Better go hard till it's over, and that's not to say I won't fall, but I know we can cash. I'm hoping to land in the hands of the one who made me. I can never understand why he wanna save me, but I'm sticking with his plan till he come and take me. And if I ever go back, then eliminate me. Just trying to rep for the Lord till he gets back. I got a weapon for war if anything crack. I never sell my soul for any greenback, so that my whole team blow like any G-Sacks. He the main feature, I know that. But came to business, we on that. Now I got a new team, won't go back on a new routine, no throwback. Trying to be the best me that I could be. They don't wanna let me, but I proceed to get on my Gretzky. Skate by wave high to the next week, then let's speak. You ain't got a whole lot of time. Time's now.
All right, this is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM and 10:50 AM. Again, thanks for listening again tonight. You know, this is is this our first episode of December? It is, huh? This is the first episode of December. So I appreciate you for hanging out. We're going to figure out some more things to talk about in the coming episodes. Make sure you hang in there. If you want to catch me on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time on the Military Broadcast Radio Network, that's MBR Radio. More of my military trench talk conversations are there. But we talk about life all over the place on both platforms. So it just depends on when you're available, if you want to catch it live or whatever. All right. So at FarronD.com for more information about what I'm up to in the community. Shouts out to the Inland Empire Hounds. We went 1 win, 1 loss. We won last night, lost tonight, And yeah, so we're in Arizona this coming weekend. Again, at IAHounds ABA. If you want more information about the basketball team, at IAHounds.com. Again, thanks for listening in. This is the Farron Dozier Show. FarronD.com for more information. Shout us out what's account. Sickle cell trait, WDCONSET.org. Peace out.
KCAA.